Hi, thank you for joining. My name is Joaquim Gonsalves, and I hope you liked last time's video. Sigma is launching 5 new lenses, or at least we know about that through the rumors. What I'll be talking about is the 70 to 200 mm because that's the one I have been the most excited about. Also, I have some sort of experience with that lens without actually having that lens. I want to talk about the 70 to 200 mm, and they had launched the previous version, which was the, let me get the name right, these lenses have two long names, so that was the Sigma 70 to 200 mm f2.8 APO EX DG OS HSM. Yeah, that's what it was called, and that was launched I think somewhere around 2010. I had referenced a quick review on a beautiful website run by someone called Brian, I think his name is. So it's been about 8 years, and ever since they launched their global vision line, a lot of the photographers have been looking forward to this lens. It's of course one of the Hebrew Trinity, or the Holy Trinity, whichever way you want to look at it. It's one of the most important lenses in your kit bag as a photographer and even as a videographer. The lens that I have with me, which is similar, is actually the 50-150 mm APO EX DC OS HSM. This lens was I think it was okay, I don't remember the year, but I'll probably put it in the edit. But it's pretty much the same body design, and let me just get this, and yep, it's pretty much the same body design as the 50-150, and yep, it's in focus, with the focus ring here and the zoom ring here, and the switches over here. Yep, with a removable tripod collar. The first thing I want to talk about the new one, as we've seen in the images, is the body design is definitely still keeping some of the functions similar to this one, with the zoom ring being at the outer end of the lens. Definitely they want to retain the same muscle memory as the previous lens, which is why the new one has it positioned over there. And frankly speaking, yes, some people may find that a little weird because they prefer keeping the hands close to the elbows, close to the body, and the zoom ring, which is the most used ring on a telephoto lens, or at least of this design, and they want to keep using that zoom function closest to the body so they can maintain their stability. But well, I mean, we can't argue with that now. They want to retain the same body design. The second thing I want to speak about is the tripod collar, thanks to Tamron, by the way, because I believe they were the first ones to introduce a 70 to 200 with a tripod collar that had an integrated or a molded Arca Swiss type of design. I guess that's the name. Basically, you don't need to attach another mounting plate onto those tripod collars while mounting those lenses onto a tripod like a Manfrotto or a Benro. So I'm really glad that this is a feature being included in this one. I'm sure a lot of you out there would appreciate that. And from the looks of it, it doesn't seem like it's removable, but because it does reminisce a lot to the tripod collar design of the 50-100, which is right here, which is, even if I try to let me just focus, yeah, like this one, it just rotates. There's no way to there's no way to actually remove this collar. So from the looks of it, I would say it is quite similar, but hopefully it is a removable one. We'll know soon, because a lot of photographers prefer having that versatility, which, like in the previous model, was removable. Let me just, yeah, like that. And I also noticed that it has a focus limiter switch, which is a welcome addition, and that's something that they've been introducing in some of their prime lenses, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the most exciting thing about this is I'll link to another video here. This is Dustin Abbott's review or final thoughts on the Sigma 105mm, the bokeh master, as they call it. That's one freaking huge lens. What really excited me the most about his review is that he's noticed a difference in autofocus performance for the latest global vision lenses that have come out from Sigma, which is really good news, because to be frank, with my 1835 or even with the 50-100, my autofocus performance has been hit or miss, and I've thought it's probably me or someone else or something else that was working against the autofocus performance. But let's not get into that right now, because that's a whole other topic in itself. The fact that Dustin felt that way about the latest lenses coming out from Sigma, which gives me hope that the 70-200, the latest one, will also have pretty good autofocus performance. Of course, it's going to be compatible with their USB dock. I don't have that out right now, but that's also very handy, and it does come with a custom switch, two positions to program your own customization, basically. And from the looks of it, I really like the design. They've incorporated their global vision and their sports and art series design language quite well. Okay, now if you check the Sigma official website, the current 70-200mm, the EX version, is already listed as discontinued, and the last price that I saw online was about $13.99, even if you check B&H. But B&H is actually also has an option for you to buy one with about with a few bucks off. I think it's about $1,249. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's about it. And when you consider even the Canon 70-200, which is the lenses that you'd probably be looking for if you're in the market for this focal range, and if you're on Canon, I don't have much experience with Nikon, so I apologize, I won't be talking about that one. But yes, the Canon 70-200, the Mark II IS version, which is now older, is actually available on B&H for $2,099 without any discount, but also available for $1,799. Now, if you're a Canon user, and with that big white lens being legendary, I'm sure if you have about $1,500 to splurge, we wouldn't mind spending a little more and getting the $1,799 version. I know I would if I had that kind of money. But yeah, that's what the Mark II version is going out for on B&H. The second lens, which is the direct competition to this one, is the well-regarded Tamron 70-200 version, the G2 version, I believe, and that one is $12.99 on B&H. So that's pretty well priced. So if Sigma needs to get this lens selling really well, they need to at least get a $1,300 or at the most a sub $1,500 price tag. I guess that takes care of everything that I had to talk about. The other lenses are also pretty cool, especially the 60-600, which if you put on a crop body can take you almost to 1,000 mm of focal length, so that's pretty insane. But again, that's a huge, massive lens, so I'm not too sure. Oh yes, the other thing I wanted to mention is the new 70-200 is categorized as a sports lens, so it's going to have very good weatherproofing, I would say, or weather resistance at the very least. So that's an added advantage. I've from a few of the forums that I read, one other topic I just wanted to address before I draw this video to a close is I have seen people, again, as usual, crying that why are they still focusing on DSLR format? I mean, they should be launching mirrorless, or did they just forget about the Canon and Nikon mirrorless cameras? I mean, guys, come on, it's really too soon to talk about the Canon and Nikon bodies, which, as most of us, or at least some of you may know, is not going to be as open to the third-party manufacturers like Sony or Panasonic or Olympus or any of those other brands. So it's going to be a while before we see some third-party lenses coming out for the Z series and the RF series of camera mounts. So let's just keep that topic at bay for now. It's going to be a while before they come out, so let's not bring that up. And the other thing is, I mean, DSLR is not going to go away anytime soon. It'll be a good 3 to 5 years, I would reckon. I'm definitely not an expert. I'm still new in this industry, but going by how the manufacturers have launched their cameras, I would say a good 3 years at the very minimum is going to be still very prominent. I mean, those 3 years will still have DSLRs quite prominent in the market space. So it makes sense to launch these lenses. I mean, Canon themselves have just launched 2 new EF lenses, the sports, those long telephoto primes. Yes, they're primes. So DSLR format is not going anytime soon. And yeah, they're going to be pretty heavy when you mount them on mirrorless bodies and all of that, but that's a topic for another video if you'd like me to address that. I don't know, let me know. But that's about it for the latest 70-200. I don't know if I'll be able to get that one to test alongside a Canon lens, for example. I don't know. I'll speak to my friends when it does get launched. But I'm pretty much a Sigma fan, and if I had a full frame, I would definitely be in the market for that lens. What about you? Let me know in the comments below. That's about it. Do check out my socials and any of the other links that come up over here. Thank you once again for joining. See ya. One other point I wanted to address is a minor fact, but the old lens from Sigma, the EX version, it had this tripod collar. Now definitely it's removable and you can position it the other way, but you know, if you want to grab the lens with your fingers this way, which is something we do quite a lot when we're handling camera bodies with telephoto lenses. But I don't like this one. There's like no space, and I've seen people turning this the other way around so that they could carry the lens a lot better, but that just throws the whole balance off. So the new one, at least from the images, looks like it has addressed that fact. So definitely that would come in handy. It's something I really miss on my 50-100, which is like a beautiful design, no doubt, but I mean, I can't. Speaking of which, I know I'm digressing a bit, but this one is definitely a lot heavier than this one. I mean, this is 1.8, this is 2.8, so pretty much why.